master to keep the line of discrimination, the intelligence sharp. And it's only possible when he is secured by his spiritual master. In this way one can go, like in a battlefield, you can attack, when somebody covers you. Yeah? When you have a fire who covers you, in that line you can attack. If you go completely alone, dangerous. So even Prabhupada expressed, his fear that he will fall down, and is after, like Prabhupada said, I can also see. I'm old, but I can see. There are many beautiful girls in this movement, But you Americans, you keep on planning further. That's where the difference is. The sensual perception is there. Oh, that's beautiful. Then comes the intelligence. Blink, 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 blink. It's like a warning signal. The intelligence goes, first of all, the intelligence can tell you how long beautiful. Yeah? We always, in Sankirtan, is a good fun with bhaktas. But when you meet the mother and daughter, watch where your senses go first. Just watch it. Senses always goes, very nice daughter. But it's only a few years in between. The daughter will look like the mother. As simple as that. And it's so temporary. Previous GBC used to call beauty with different placements of fat. The fat is moving around, so that when it's in some kind of proportions, it goes, oh, this is beautiful. When you get older and the fat starts to move in a very unpredictable way, that's not so beautiful. It's temporary thing. That's intelligence. Unfortunately, when lust arises, then there is no intelligence in action. It gets swept away by lust. That's it. So that can happen even to a very, very advanced preacher. But it cannot happen to Narada Muni because he is purely in a transcendental position. So one should be very careful. We know how, in other words, one is to be purely transcendentally Brahminical. We know what happened to Bharat, Maharaj Bharat, who didn't become attached to a woman. He was already in forest, there was no women. He was already in a forest meditating about Krishna so intensely, he was arriving at the stage of bhava, loving, spontaneous relationship to Krishna actually. But then was the Kshatriya thing. One deer jumping in a river, losing a small deer drowning. Maharaj Bharat was already there in the river, saving the small deer. Saving, Kshatriya means protecting. And then he became attached to a small deer. You can. You never had experience with a small deer, but I tell you, you can get attached. From the most illusory creations I ever saw. We had one in Alvik. The Buddhists found it somewhere on the road. Usually they didn't know it, of course. The rule is when you find a deer, don't touch it. Because if you touch it, your smell will be impregnated upon the deer. The mother, which is maybe close by, grazing somewhere, will never accept the deer anymore, because the human smell is there. So don't touch it. But they saw a small deer there, they just picked it up. Oh, I remember the deer running around Alvik, in Sweden. Such an illusory form. It's so pure, it got these white spots and these lotus eyes, that's the real thing. And that's actually the description why Maharaj Bharat was so attractive. Because the lotus eyes of the deer remembered him subconsciously on Krishna's lotus eyes. And that's how Maya comes in a devotional form. We go, what a nice devotee, what a nice Vaishnava, what a nice Vaishnava, what a nice service. It's all devotional service, but the senses are all rolling. Oh, how chaste and the sari, and how powerful brahmachari, the devotee, and here we go. And then the senses are all rolling on. And soon, we don't care. Sari, devotee, nothing. We are just attached. That's all. The body, And then the pure brahmachari is appearing in blue jeans and go to work. And the sari is also gone. Everything is gone. All the devotional tilak is gone, everything is gone. But how did it start? on a devotional platform. And then Maya is there, just slowly, whipping it over. It's like a scale. You start on a spiritual side, and then it slowly whips to the material side, and then just flop over. And then they wonder, how is that possible? We have the same problem like Kaunis, but it was supposed to be all transcendental. Or where is the transcendental part? Yeah, well, you put, Prabhupada even made some heavy quotation. He said, man good, woman good, together bad. So how can you survive these, these contacts? By having a purpose. Having a very strong purpose. Like Haridas Thakur, he had a purpose to finish his rounds. And he was not stupid, he was a young man, he knew this prostitute was there to come to have sex life. And they can be so devotional. And actually as described, she even imitated this chanting just to, come on the level of the Maha Mantra, Just imagine you chant and there's a Mataji sitting next to you, go Hare Krishna, and she goes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Same speed, same, level. And then you go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then you tune in and that's it. They can use even the Hare Krishna mantra for dating, don't worry. Many people do that. No problem. I don't want to go no more specific, but oh yeah, you can meet, have a really nice bhajan. And what is the result of the bhajan? She's pregnant, at the best. Or they are married. So the people do that. They interpret material things. They don't know even how it happened, because it's just how material nature works. So one has to have a very strong purpose, being totally protected by the instruction of the spiritual master. Like Haridas Thakur, he said, yes, Mataji, we can have even sex. Yes, but you have to wait, because I have to finish the rounds. But she didn't know, he never finished the rounds. He was chanting all the time. And she was, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And you know what happens when you chant together with Haridas Thakur, Namacharya. Of course you get purified. And in the middle of this chase, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, what am I doing here? I'm trying to seduce and drag down such a great saint. So she just fell down, paid obeisances and says, you know what they told me I should do to you? And you know what I can do to you? He said, I know why you came here. So don't worry. We don't want to frustrate even the Zamindar, He sent you here to drag me down. So I will go, don't worry. He wants me to leave, so I will leave. But you, please, stay here and chant Hare Krishna. And that's how she became a Vaishnava. And she said, but I'm making my living by prostitution. How will I survive? And he said, don't worry, just chant Hare Krishna. It will be taken care of. Very soon it was known, there's a big Vaishnava, she used to be prostitute, and she's chanting there, worshipping Tulasi. So many people came and brought things, and then she was living quite okay. So this is how it works in real spiritual life. So it's just a question of focus, and it's just a question of the purpose one has. Externally it may look quite similar. It is also said that one should never think that Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda coming out of the shop where you sell alcohol became an alcoholic. Because there's another purpose to it. So that's actually the only way to survive all this. You cannot avoid that. I could just quote the famous instance. Hare Krishna cooking for Prabhupada. In America, in a temple, in the early days, where it was in a temple, there was 300 devotees in the temple. From 300 devotees, guaranteed there was 150 Matajis. They always still going to a very unusual temple he joined, because he is just, wow, it's just a very cool place. But I joined a movement that was 50-50, all the time. It was half was Mataji. So Prabhupada told him to cook, he was cooking, and then American Matajis. It's just some girls from Texas, yesterday they were riding on horse and today they are in a kitchen, cooking. So, and he was so sannyasi. He was just cooking and they were just there pushing and the kitchen is always too small, somehow, especially when you have 300 devotees in a temple. So he was just pushing and they were cooking, he was cooking, he tried to cook for Prabhupada and he freaked out. He just threw the spoon in a pot, I ran up there and said, Prabhupada, I cannot cook down there, this is incredible. They're just pushing, they're pushing me and they're just, they touch me, push me, even command, there's no culture. So Prabhupada said, but you have to always remember, they are Matajis. And they had such a relaxed relationship with them. He said, Matajis? Mother? He said, my mother would never act like this. Ruthless, pushing and my mother would never act. How can I see it? Mother. My mother would never do such a thing. Prabhupada couldn't argue with that. He knew it's a hell down there in the kitchen. So he knew that. He said, okay. And he took the radical step. He said, okay. Then you don't cook and I will fast. Okay. Oh, I can fast. No, Prabhupada, I don't want you to fast. Okay, I will go down there again. And just before Harikesha was leaving the room, Prabhupada looked at him compassionately and he said, you have to understand one thing. They are everywhere. It's a fact. How do you avoid women? How do you avoid men? How do you avoid this? You can't. It's not possible. You cannot jump in some cave. And even you may think you can hide in a dense landscape someday in the bushes. Don't worry. There will be some woman. Something will come around. Somebody. And if it's your karma, you will get stuck. There's always, in the middle of nowhere, you can get stuck. So what is the solution to this? To have a strong purpose. Yes, we are preaching here. Okay, who is preaching? Not preach. Not. Saint GBC used to say, we have a preaching mission here. So join us, or help us, or get out of the way. Nowadays, to quote such a thing, most of the places I will get completely in trouble. Hey, that's the reason he fell down, a Nazi. No, but when you think about this, in essence, it is like that. We have a purpose to be here. So this place is a purpose to be. And either you serve the purpose or you don't. It's for everybody. If you don't serve the purpose and you try to change the purpose of the whole thing, then get out of the way, please. We have a purpose here. I joined because of that. Because I came into a temple which was so dominated by sight, I didn't even know what the purpose is. I knew immediately these people have a very strong purpose. They look at me like, Sakadaki, joy! And then they run away. Nobody even explained to me one damn thing, what the whole thing is about. Nobody bothered to even preach to me. But why should I do that? I will explain this to you in a car. Get in. Then I was in the street, with the magazines, and I said, we have to distribute this. Me? Distributing this? Why? Well, you will find out. Read the magazine, but in the evening. First you distribute that, and then you can read. That was the German logic. First you distribute, and then you can read. And actually in the evening I was so tired I couldn't read. Took probably 3-4 years on Sankirtan before I read something. That's German way to do that. But I was captured by that everybody had such a strong purpose. Not this, not this, come and feel. How do you feel about coming? Well, I think it's all a product of some assumption. Somebody assumed we should be Krishna conscious, so I wish you good luck. We are doing quite well. But I assume maybe not. Because it's all assumption, It's all an idea of somebody. These books are an idea of somebody. We can have different ideas, why not? It's a hellish Mayavada thing. On that platform, and he is lying. Whoever talks like this. He's not assuming that maybe I should not have sex life. No, he will. He's not assuming maybe I should not eat. He will. He's not assuming I shall not sleep. He will. And very enthusiastically. And very determinedly. That's the dogma. You don't touch this. That's the religion we follow here, you know. Like I told him, he said, everything is assumption. I told him, it's a pretty absolutistic statement. It's pretty heavy to say such a thing. How do you know all the assumptions in this world that you can say it's all assumption here? He laughed at the end like a fool. Unfortunately, he was eating a lot of prasada. That was the only reason the thing he did. Anyway, so Narada Muni had a strong purpose. And when you have a strong purpose, as Prabhupada's appearance was like that, he had such a strong purpose that people automatically start to serve the purpose. Because they didn't have actually any purpose. It's just dreaming, hippies. Oh, love and peace. How do you practice love and peace? We don't know. We just think we should. Everybody thinks he should something. I just said yesterday, Prabhupada was so clear in his preaching. He said things which completely and constantly left devotees speechless. Yesterday I heard how Prabhupada, devotees asking, Prabhupada, we are preaching and then we actually, what about if we preach and we meet a man who owns a factory and he would like to become more Krishna conscious, but he cannot, and he also doesn't know how to conduct the factory. I mean, does he have to give up the factory? Prabhupada said, no. And then Prabhupada gave a clear line how we, the Hare Krishna movement, take over a factory. It's just hilarious. He said, first of all, we have to own the factory, okay? That's the first condition. So it's our factory now. You can be the boss still, but it's our factory. Okay, we own that. So you surrender that. And then the next argument was, but the boss, but when I become devotee, the workers will start to revolt. Or how do you handle workers who are dissatisfied and revolt? And Prabhupada says, how do you make workers happy? And he said, you must supply them what they need. Yeah? But no salary. Let's go, how can you supply workers what they need and no salary? He said, no, they will complain, Prabhupada. He said, no, they won't. You know why? Because you don't get any salary either. So they cannot say, he's cashing all in. But then the voice says, but the factory is making profit. So where does that go? And Prabhupada said, to Krishna. The boss is surrendering everything to Krishna, and the workers are surrendering everything to Krishna. Nobody can complain, he has something I don't have, because it's all Krishna anyway. And you supply. The first thing he says, supply must be every morning very nice prasadam to the workers. That's the first thing. But there's one condition, everybody must chant 5 rounds. If you don't chant 5 rounds, you are fired. You cannot work here. Prabhupada is so practical. You go, wow! And you can see how quiet. The people are just speechless, Just, wow! That's how we take over a factory. But Prabhupada relates exactly to the Vedic standards. That Shudra should not get any money. You don't give money to Shudra. You give him what he needs. Because as soon as you give him money, he will spend it for something else, and he cannot even get what he needs. That's what Shudras do. You give them money, and they go and buy a big TV, and video games, and all kinds of things, and then they have no money for food. And then they have revolution. We want more money, we are hungry, we want more money. But, and just skip the TV, damn it, and the video games, and you have money. But Shudra doesn't think like that. He has no brain how to spend the money. Therefore, you should not have any money. You always demonstrate, we want more. Well, you have already so much, but you spend it in the wrong way. They get no money. what he needs. And he will be ultimately happy because Shudra wants to be supplied and he wants to be taken care of. I know one example in Czech Republic. A shoemaker, maybe you ever heard the shoe butter the brand. In India it's very known. It's coming from Czech Republic. One man, he started a factory. And in India he was famous because somehow he managed, India was the biggest leather supplier. I don't know how you get leather in India, but you know, and it was cheap of course. And so here this empire was all over the world. He was a very expert Vaishya. You cannot imagine how popular the man was. He built a whole town. The communists couldn't even take it. It was not possible. People will fight for their shoes, for their factories, and for the town, owned basically by one man. And they loved him. Because he knew exactly the side. He had his own schools, and he brought the Shudras by the dint of his economical expertise to the level that each single worker could have a house. His own house. He built the row houses, was one of the first ones who built row houses, and everybody had a house. And he supplied medical care, he supplied school education, they had their own sports, you know, teams and this, and the Shudras are very, oh, you know, we are the butter people, you know. This is, you have to give Shudras a designation and a nice dress, you know, we are belonging to this team, and they are very proud. When the communists tried to take it away, they couldn't. And he was also completely, he was a funny guy, he had his own airplanes and this, and they loved him for that. Nobody was envious on him, because he was constantly finding out new ways how to satisfy the Shudras. And not by cheap education, by constructive education, material education, unfortunately. But, you know, he knew the Shudra needs a care and guidance. Until today, he's celebrated like a hero. Of course, he died in an airplane crash. As an example, he was the first one who built a big central building with all the offices, you know, where the whole company was managed from that. And his office was in an elevator, because he wanted to be present wherever they work and see what they are doing. So the elevator was going up and down, and everybody knew, bling! The door goes open, there was a boss behind the table, so what are you doing here? You know, they were always watching where the elevator goes, which floor it is. And his brother was working even as an accountant. And it's recorded that once the elevator came up to a certain floor, bling, he opened, and he already knew his brother messed up the treasury. And his brother was working there, behind the table. So he walks through the whole room, big room full of tables, straight to his brother and said, "Did you wrote this here? Did you mess it up?" And the brother said, "Oh, sorry." And he just slapped him in front of everybody and went back to his elevator again. People were impressed. Wow, it's an own family member, you know, and he doesn't care. He messed it up, bang, you know. So this is how you manage Shudras. You have to be just and not opportunistic. They will appreciate it. They will appreciate it. There was no revolution, there was no communism. The communists said, these people said, "What do you want here? Get out." "But we will give it, it's your property." You know, he said, "It's totally our property, just get out." You know, communists had a really hard time to finish that town off. So this is how you manage Shudras. So this is all included in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada knew it. He was bold. He said, we can do it, but we have to have proper guidance. So in all regards, our question is, who we are learning from, who is guiding us. And that's what the shelter is. Anyway, don't to problem. Questions? Huh?
And this point of purpose, focusing on the purpose, can you maybe give some points on the different relationships? Because obviously when people come, the relationship is more friendly, I think.
Well, you can be friendly, still have a purpose. But you have to know a little bit, and that's a training. what purpose they had. Like we had a group of certain Muslim youth coming here around. I was not in, but Rune was with them. Well, he came out pretty frustrated because they just came here just to make nonsense more or less. Just to tease and find out. They do it on the street, I know it. So this, you have to know, they're not serious. So why should I be having a serious response to someone who is not serious? Devotees, sometimes you have to be humble. You know. Yeah, but humble to whom? To what? Humbly discrediting Krishna consciousness? But the Prabhupada said that. Humble. Somebody comes and offends a devotee, we have to take it. Yeah, regarding oneself may be, but not regarding the movement. That's the purpose of us being here. So several, they will call us arrogant and they will call us stubborn and who knows what. We don't care. It's very well recorded, Harisari Prabhu just mentioned in one of his readings, how repeatedly Prabhupada was tolerant to the offenses being done to him, and he was also offended. But when it came to ISKCON, his movement, and there's no mercy. No. That was also mercy, but in another form. No. There he was defensive like a lion. And he was attacked by smarter Brahmins who criticized him to initiate Westerners, to give women Brahmin initiation, or to be involved with marriages, and so much criticism. Now he was very firm in his purpose. There was no way to deteriorate him from that. So, it requires a bit training, also practice. So I told them, there's enough practice material out there, don't worry. We're not going to run out of karmis. There's plenty of them out there. So you have to practice. Sometimes we do our little mistakes, but if the main purpose is there to help and to preach and inform people about Krishna consciousness, then it's forgiven. Prabhupada was addressed why Sankirtan devotees behave so sometimes ruthlessly on the street. He said, if you are getting such a bad result, you don't know how to catch the big fish without getting wet. And he said, it's not very nice. But actually, when you listen to what he said, he was never heavily criticizing Sankirtan devotee, despite all the criticism which came up. He was heavily criticizing those who didn't criticize Sankirtan devotees. And that happened even amongst devotees. Even his presence. Shall we do it? Always going out and bothering people like that, embarrassing them and making them feel bad? What kind of presentation of Krishna consciousness is this? Prabhupada was very clear on that point. But he's not even saying the real thing. He's making some hush-hush to sell the book. He said, every businessman has his own selling techniques. So what? But he said we should not be openly lying unnecessarily. Why should we do that? So there, Prabhupada was very firm in his purpose. Same thing, practically spoken. Anybody who is living here, it's called residential, even staying here, he has to have a purpose and defend that purpose. You have a right to defend your purpose. Like when you come here, you have a service, you have a right to defend that service. It's your service to Krishna. If somebody comes in a mild version, he starts to bubble you full with his speculations, he has no